Okay, I want to show you a situation with Chinese and Taobao and translation. So some people, they feel translation is going to make um, learning, maybe even reading a language obsolete, maybe in some ways. But let me give you an example. Like it's a very basic example, but let's say it's got Taobao here. I've got an order number. I can see my order number, so it's true. I've got the order number. I don't really need to learn Chinese to do this, and if I translated it, it will be fine anyway. But so there's my order number there. So right. So I go to my. This is my consolidator here. So I type my waybill number into there. Um, and they need the courier. Okay, so let's go to courier. Here's the courier here. Now there's one, two, three, four, five, six characters there. There's no courier with 6 characters here on the site. Yet I know that the courier is that they have every courier. I've never had a situation where the courier is not supported. You have to get the courier right, or it doesn't work. That's another thing about Chinese websites, right? They design it so you have to put the courier in. I mean, there's no need, right? I mean, why can't they just match the number to help you find the courier? This is the thing about many Chinese websites. They're designed in a baffling way sometimes, and usability is a bit strange sometimes. Anyway, so what can I do? Let's see. So what if we try translating it? So let's use a translation. Here we go. If we scroll down to try, so we've got Postal Express package. Okay, I think it's Microsoft Postal Parcel. It's a different translation. Go to Yandex. This is Yandex Postal Express Parcel. I can't remember what T is. Postal Parcel. Okay, so Postal Parcel, something like this. Doesn't sound good, does it? Doesn't sound very exact. Go down to here. Translate. First of all, this is another problem. You can't select, right? So you've got to do the whole page. Do the whole page. And it does actually translate it, which is good. It doesn't always do it properly. Go down, nothing with postal package, doesn't work. Also, note how this is swapped around. It's a bit of obviously it's going to be a mess. So it's a mess. Okay, fine. Other 33, what is that? Okay, so what I did was I translated all these and paid a bit more attention to what was going on with those, and then made my own translations. And here are my own translations here. And I went down, and still none of them. I haven't covered that one yet. So, um, what I suppose you would need to do is try and find out what's the most important characters in here and match them up with this. Yeah, but even just remembering those characters, I can't even remember all those characters. Um, and which ones should I focus on? Which one should I drop? There's 5 here. Some of these are 5, some of these are 4. Just how do you go about it? So I think you really need to be able to read Chinese if you're going to use Taobao. Um, I mean, I've started learning a little bit. I think this is something about packaging here. There's probably these two go together. That's another thing. Okay, so you don't know where the words are. I think probably this goes with this. I think it's something to do with packaging, and this is probably about delivery. I don't know if it goes with that one or not. I mean, this is really difficult because this is way beyond my level because um, the names of companies. Um, the names of companies are obviously extremely hard to read because they're very rarely going to be basic. Yeah, and I think maybe this is an adjective over here. Maybe this one. Not sure if this one's. Yeah, probably these two together. Yeah, so I think you have to learn Chinese if you're gonna use Taobao. I know lots of Westerners they use it anyway because they can see the patterns. Like they can see the order number, they can figure it out. They can see things like this, um, but it doesn't work. Maybe it'll work sometimes, but you'll find a situation where you make a mistake and you order something, and it's 10 times bigger than you expected, or there's 100 of them, or or Let's for example, some people they try to use the Taobao consolidator. Well, that's a bad idea because it doesn't work. It's not designed really for going abroad, and some complicated things can happen. Um, it's just confusing. It's not. There's no not. There's hard. Well, there's almost no support. You'd have to call on a number, premium number, um, and no one speaks English. So much better to use a consolidator. But even at the consolidator, you might have translation problems. So I suggest if you're going to use Taobao, to use a proper agent that speaks English, or don't do it at all, because you're going to make mistakes. Also, you've got to read all the reviews as well. Okay, they translate. You can get an ID, you can see the pictures, but yeah, you can get situations like this where you're screwed basically. And there's a lot more situations like that. Like for example, I ordered a pump and it was quite big, and I used the Taobao consolidator rather than, well, I should have used an agent, right? And they couldn't. It was too big for them to use their normal courier. So they just chose a courier and they couldn't send it to Hong Kong either. So what they decided to do is they sent it to a courier that they decided to send it to. That was it. That's what they decided to do. So it went to some warehouse. Right. They didn't tell me this. I don't know why they did that. They just decided to just get rid of it basically because I guess maybe because then they could show that they have a receipt that they've sent it somewhere. But when I found out where they sent it, they didn't send it to me. They just sent it to some random logistics company. That's kind of the culture as well. So there's the culture as well that you need to understand. And if you're trying to order stuff on Taobao, you just don't expect that they would do that. I mean, why would you do that? I guess it's just some guy. He's got a problem. He's got to send your package somewhere, and he thinks, "I'll just send it anywhere, bug him," and he doesn't care, And you just don't expect that. And as an example, another example of that, there's a documentary called "The China Hustle," which is all about some American companies who went to America um, to basically to float small, well, not really small, but smaller Chinese companies on the American Stock Exchange. And there's stages of cons along the way, including in America, like the hedge funds, the accountants, just messing up along the whole chain from China all the way to America. And it's because like the Americans, they just didn't expect to see that much lying all the way, including in their own culture as well, all the way to the factory. And it turns out the factory is not legit, basically. So likewise, you need to be on your guard dealing with these people. I know there's a feedback system, that sort of thing. Well, just don't. They just got different ways of doing things, basically. So I would advise being careful. Use an agent. That's why you use an agent. At least you can talk to the agent, and they can try to explain things to you. Yeah, they can also sort out things like this for you as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. There you go. See this stop.